Gentlemen, Antonio here. Okay, today I'm going to give you 9 tips on how to purchase the perfect backpack for your needs. I know a lot of you guys are going back to school, maybe going back to get your MBA, going to be starting undergrad, you're entering your final year of high school. You want a backpack that's going to suit your needs, that's right size, that is value priced. I understand that. These 9 tips, guys, I'm giving to you so that you can go through them like a checklist and you can make sure you make a smart purchasing decision, because I don't want you to go out there and buy something that's too small, something that falls apart on you. Yeah, you know, it's like it's a waste of money. And guys, this is brought to you by a really cool company called Katie. And I'm excited to bring them to you because in the past, many of you guys have complained that I bring in products that are just too expensive. Guys, Katie is value priced. They're on Amazon. Almost all their products are going to have 4+ stars. So you can go check them out. I'm going to say great things about them, but you can go check out what other people are saying and make a smart purchasing decision no matter what you do. Okay, so tip number 1, guys, the backpack has to be comfortable. Take that backpack, I want you to try it on, throw some weight in it, and walk around. And if it's not comfortable, don't purchase it, especially if you've got 3 or 4 heavy books in there, because if it doesn't feel good, if it's not comfortable, it's never going to feel better. And worst case is you actually could hurt yourself. So best case scenario, you just don't wear the backpack, you buy it, okay. But worst case, you wear it and you bite your way through the pain and you end up hurting your back. Guys, don't buy something that doesn't fit you properly. Make sure you work with a company that's got a good return policy. I go into a little bit more detail in the article, which all of my videos I always support with an article. I'll link over to that. But guys, make sure you buy something that's comfortable. That way you wear it and you get your money's worth. Point number 2, durability. So I took this backpack and I ran it through the ringer, and when it comes, straps aren't coming off here, they aren't coming off there. You want to check that. I had a backpack when I remember as a kid, I was in a store and I tried that and the thing ripped right off. I didn't tell anybody, I walked away, but yeah, you know, you don't want to buy something that's going to fall apart that easy. Now, you don't want to abuse the backpack, but you want to make sure that it's built and it's got nice stitching on it. So when I open up and I look at the bottom of the backpack, usually a backpack is going to fail up here on the strap, or it's going to fail at the bottom. I look for actually a lining, which this backpack made by Katie does. I also look at for when the material comes together and then it's double sewn with stitching with a cover. This one actually has that. To me, that's a sign of quality. If they pay attention to those details, they're probably going to pay attention to others. Let's talk about protection of what you actually have. For most of it, it's going to be the laptop. Now, you want this laptop sleeve does not have much protection. And you want to be aware of that. There's good things, there's bad things. Laptop sleeves or areas with not a lot of protection are going to be lighter weight, and you can always go buy a sleeve. A lot of us have them lying around. However, if you really want something that's going to protect your backpack, you want to make sure it's got all that cushioning in there. If you are carrying around photography equipment, you want to make sure that it's actually got, you know, an area for the photography equipment with a bit of airspace. So in case you do drop it, it's not going to fall and break. In any case, there's always going to be a bit of a trade-off. So understand, if you've got really expensive equipment and you don't want to buy a sleeve for your laptop, then you're going to want to make sure it's got that protection. But oftentimes it's going to be more expensive and you're going to have less room in the backpack. Make sense? Okay, so point number 4 is the actual size of the backpack. So one tip that you may not hear a lot of people saying is I advocate the man buy the smallest backpack for his needs. If you buy a bigger backpack, you're going to find ways to fill it, you're going to overstuff it, and that's not what you want. So make sure, look at the height, look at the width, look at the depth of the backpack. All that information should be there on the website. Oftentimes I'll go in and look at reviews and people are complaining it was too small. The information is right there. Make sure to use it. Maybe look at one of your older backpacks and kind of measure that. Again, that's why having a good return policy is important. Get the right size for your needs. Okay, point number 5, activity needs. So if you're going to be going backpacking, if you're going to be out in the wilderness for a week, this is not the right bag for you. You're going to want something that's actually structured, maybe have a frame that goes up higher that can hold, you know, a mat and a sleeping bag. So understand what your activity needs are. If you're going to be out biking in the desert, you want a camelback, something that's got water in it. Again, right activity. This type of backpack, rucksack style, this is going to be good for going to the gym, for carrying around school supplies, throwing books in there, throwing a computer in there. So make sure you understand and you get what's right for your activity needs. Point number 6, material. So we're going to see a wide range of materials out there, but almost everything is going to be made from nylon that's really inexpensive. You're going to see different types. You're going to see a very lightweight, maybe a rip stop. You're going to see ballistic, which is going to be heavier weight. So if you can, try to get that ballistic or the non-rip. I like to avoid nylon, and I'll tell you why. Because I want something that's usually going to be a lot more durable. Nylon isn't the most durable material, so I like cotton canvas. It's inexpensive, very, very durable. Leather is another material we're going to see out there. It's oftentimes in more luxury bags. Number 7 is organization. You're going to see usually 2 styles. They're going to be the backpacks that have pockets for everything. You're going to give up room, and then you're going to have bags that are actually more open, in the sense they have a few maybe material pockets that are sewn in, but they don't take up a lot of space. I like this because it gives me kind of the best of both worlds. Point number 8, budget. How much money can you afford? A lot of this is tied to the material. Leather, again, is going to be more expensive. Something that's handmade from leather in the United States by an artisan is going to be much more expensive than something that's made from canvas, made in a factory in China, large scale. So those are the things where you're going to pay for. I say you want to find the best value, and that's where, Amazon's really useful. And again, Katie fits that description, but you guys, you're going to have this checklist. You can make your own buying decision. Finally, point number 9, style. Leather, I think, is going to be the most stylish. Usually darker is going to be more stylish, but it's going to be more expensive. Canvas, this is, like I said, it's got a military heritage. I think that right there gives it's more casual, but it also gives it a very rugged, very masculine type of feel because of the military connection. Some of the nylon ones out there, especially, the ones designed for kids, those aren't very stylish, gentlemen. Yes, you may want to grab it sometimes because you can't find your bag and you need something to carry your gym clothes, but, be careful with the ballistic nylon, not too bad, especially if it's going to be in black, but it's always going to be more casual than leather. I'm going to go ahead at this point, refer you over to the article. I've got all points right there broken out, but I am going to recommend Katie, guys. I've got a number of their bags here. I've looked at their leather products. I've been looking at their canvas products. Again, very durable. That's what I'm impressed with. I'm also impressed with the price. They've got great reviews. You can go make your own purchasing decision. Go look at Amazon. Use this list however you want. But guys, definitely check out Katie. It's a good company. They're supporting us here at Real Men Real Style. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.